Dr. Lewiston believed in the institution of marriage. Like, he perhaps believed in it too much. For more than 5 years, this very prominent Stanford doctor lived a life of deception.
Bum, bum, bum.
Juggling at first 2 and then 3 wives without their knowledge of each other, on top of a busy schedule.
This is how good the 90s were, like we say always. You could afford to have more than one family. The economy was so good.
Hey everybody, welcome to 500 Open Tabs. I'm Hannah Hillam.
And I'm Kaveh Taherian. Today we are joined by a very special guest. He is a GI doctor and host of the House of Pod, a humor-adjacent medical podcast. And most importantly, he is a fellow blacksmith, much like myself. Please welcome to the podcast, the one, the only, Dr. Kaveh Hoda.
Again, so weird that you say our name differently. You say
correctly.
You hear
he
it.
says it the correct way, right?
Hana?
Yeah.
Did you say Hana?
Hana?
Hana Hillam? Yeah,
No,
as
it's
someone pronounced it. Yeah.
Okay, I say Kaveh. Kaveh.
Yes.
You say Kaveh.
No, I say Kaveh.
Kaveh.
I'm calling both of you Kaveh from now
White
on.
people can't say Kaveh, so they all say Kaveh. That's basically because there's no like Kaveh.
I think
the
there's more of a
closest
Y
analog is
sound.
avocado.
I think he's calling you white.
Yeah.
We're off-white. That's as far as we'll go.
We're beige. We're olive toned.
We're
beige.
olive tone, khaki, something along those lines. It's a pleasure to be back. Thank you both for having me. I really enjoy being on this podcast. I listen to this podcast, so when I come on this podcast, it is sort of an out-of-body experience. I'm on the show. It's like very meta. It's like, when those movies.
How dare you call us
sucked.
meta? We're not associated with Mark Zuckerberg, okay? Thanks a lot.
I am.
God, they really did ruin it, didn't they?
They really did. They ruined that name. That dead-eyed turtle boy ruined the name Meta.
Turtle boy. But we love having you back on. I realized that you were not on last season because of scheduling issues, but you were on twice the season before. So it's nice to have you back on. So you're going to have to come on multiple times this season to make up for it.
Okay, good. I didn't know if you wanted to average out to one Kaveh visit per season. So
for people who are listening to you for the first time on this podcast, why don't you tell them a little bit about who you are, what your show is, and what are you doing here? Who invited you?
Who let you
really
in?
Good question.
Why
I don't
are
know
you
how
here?
I got here. So I am a medical doctor. That is my primary gig. I am in particular a gastroenterologist, hepatologist. So I study digestive diseases.
And
lizards.
And I look at
Hepatology?
everything from your esophagus all the way down to your butt, your bile ducts, your liver, your pancreas. All these things are things that fascinate me and that I work on a daily basis. But when I'm not doing that, I have the podcast, The House of Pod. You mentioned at the top of the show. Thank you for doing that. It is a sort of humor-adjacent medical podcast. We try to make the world of medicine a little bit less scary, a little bit more accessible. Try to go over wellness grifters and try to explain things in a manner that I think will hopefully peel back the curtain a little bit on the world of medicine and bring in some listeners. So I know you don't want to listen to medical podcasts out there. I don't either. I listen to no medical podcasts. But this is a little bit different because we try to talk about like the science of it in a way that's fun and in a way that's actually useful. I think this is important stuff, especially now more than ever. We need to have people on the interwebs really sort of looking at the information, talking about it, battling all the nonsense that's out there. So that's what we're trying to do. Your listeners will enjoy it. If they enjoy this show, then they'll enjoy the House of Pod. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, you're one of the few
great
medical
show.
podcasters that's like an actual doctor that like actually practices medicine, not like
That
a
I can
scam
listen
artist.
to.
Yeah, you're just like, oh no, I was doing this at the hospital the other day, which I don't
Yeah.
think anybody who's famous on a podcast that claims to be a doctor
No.
is ever that. So
That's
I
true.
do-
It's usually not doctors. Yeah, it's usually like just science adjacent people at best.
what is it that you brought for us as far as tabs?
I have there's a story I want to share with you guys. This is a fascinating story about a doctor.
Ooh.
And it's one that is, I think, interesting for a couple of reasons. One, because it's sort of like a time capsule. It's a story that happened right before the internet was really a big thing. And because of that, it's something people haven't heard of as much as they would today. And it sort of says a lot about how different the time was then than it is now. And I'll explain as we go along what I mean by that. But also, I think it's an interesting conversation to have about a man's brain and what went wrong here. And in a doctor's brain in particular, because this is the story of a Dr. Norman Lewiston. You guys probably haven't heard of Dr. Norman J.
No,
Lewiston.
I can't say that I have. Normie Lou.
So, he was a pretty big figure in the world of cystic fibrosis. He was actually considered a pioneering doctor of transplant surgery there. Or he didn't do the surgeries himself, but he would manage the transplants, which are very complicated, require a lot of immunosuppression, require a lot of work that go into preparing, taking care of them afterwards. And he was a surgeon. He wasn't a surgeon, but he was a teacher there and a researcher at Stanford University Hospital. Maybe you've heard of it. It's up here in Northern California. And there was something about his life that was a little more unusual. I mean, to his friends and his family and to the colleagues he had at Stanford University, he was pretty much nothing more than a very shy, very caring, very dedicated doctor and researcher whose work consumed his whole life's existence. That's what they thought pretty much. It wasn't until his death that something a little more startling emerged. And you have to understand, Dr. Lewiston believed in the institution of marriage. Like, he really believed in it. Like, he perhaps believed in it too much. Too much.
Interesting transition.
Yeah, I'm way.
For more than five. For over 5 years. It's going to be about
doctor orgies.
That's a different episode. For more than 5 years, this very prominent Stanford doctor lived a life of deception. I wrote that down because I thought it would be dramatic if I said like that. Juggling at first 2 and then 3 wives. Without their knowledge of each other, on top of a busy schedule, teaching classes, treating patients, and running research. It's actually, at the end of the day, you gotta respect the grind.
Did he
Unbelievable. This is how good the 90s were, like we say always. You could afford to have more than one family. Yeah. The economy was so good.
But that's also, I mean, think about it. Like,
do
you remember in 2012 who David Petraeus was? I think his name David Petraeus.
Yeah.
The general?
He was the director of the CIA.
Yeah, that guy's a
He
dick.
was the nation's top spy. The top spy.
Yeah.
He couldn't keep his extramarital affair secret.
It was a big deal. I remember the Petraeus affair.
But,
it was the reporter, right?
Yeah.
Paula, I've written down Broadwell.
She was like writing his biography or something.
Yeah.
What was it?
That always happens. That's what RFK Jr. did too.
She's I really got to get into all the nooks and crannies to understand
the
my
nooks
subject
and
inside and
crannies
out.
of David Petraeus.
But this is the thing. This is the thing. Back in the 90s, as long as you were like smart enough to not come home with like lipstick on your collar, you could get away with multiple families.
That's insane.
Nowadays,
true.
The best spy we have can't keep his affair a secret. Things were different. It was a crazy time. Again, because this story became public in 1991, I didn't see much about it other than going in through newspaper articles at the time, some which are like the microfiche, sort of like pictures of the newspaper. That's
microfilm stuff.
But I first saw this, I was first introduced to this because they actually did make a movie about it. It was a made-for-TV movie. We'll come back to that at the end, but that's how I kind of fell down this rabbit hole. Okay, so let me get into the story about him. You guys ready? To most people who knew him, he was a caring doctor who couldn't say no. And if someone needed help with a case, if someone had a tough problem,
couldn't say no to getting married again.
Well, I think that's we're going to talk about it, but I think that's kind of what it is. If patients had questions, he would try to make himself available to him. He was known for spending a lot of time with his patients, which is nice. It's less common nowadays, more common then, but even then, I think he probably spent more time than people would expect. These are young people, terminal cases. I think he would spend a lot of time just helping to reassure them the best he can. Dealing with emotional stuff, I think that doctors have a hard time with. It's hard. Terminal cases are hard for us too. Like, we want to fix things. We're people pleasers and we want to fix things. And it takes a special sort of doctor to deal with that emotionally. I think that's really hard to do, especially with young people. Okay, he was born October 8th, 1938 in Boone County, Iowa, to Eldon and Layla Lewiston. He went to the University of Iowa Medical School, which, makes sense. He was there. And then he came to Stanford as a resident in pediatrics, settled down, put down some roots there. Before too long, he was already on sort of the long-term career track there. He became the chief of allergy and pulmonary, and he started some of this groundbreaking work in the field of lung transplant for kids with cystic fibrosis. And he actually was the director of the cystic fibrosis clinic there.
Wow.
Really helped develop that program, as I mentioned, for transplant. And as I said, you still will see people online when the story comes up, when you're like looking through his story, there are people that will still say, hey, he was great. He took care of my sister when she was in the hospital, etc. So he was the real deal. He had at least 96 publications, and that I saw that he was listed on either as first author or not. It's a lot. To spoil it a little bit, he died in his very early 50s, like 52. So you can only imagine he would have had a lot more, I'm sure.
Sad.
Now, how much involvement you can get to a certain position in academic medicine and just get on a bunch of papers, you could be that person. So how much involved he was at that point, I don't know. Like how many of these he was really like directed on, or just they put his name on, I don't know.
Yeah, he's like a Hollywood producer. He's just like, you slap my name on it, I'll introduce you to this other person, but they didn't actually do anything in terms of getting the film made.
Yes, I'm going to trust you on that one. Yes, yeah. I did see some. I've seen movies about.
You need to trust
Hollywood
me on the idea that people in Hollywood are phonies.
That makes sense. The funny thing, I was thinking about this a lot. Like half of Hollywood movies are about Hollywood itself.
Yep.
Like
they love themselves.
Yeah.
Right, what you know. Yeah, they do. It is interesting. Okay, so
every Christopher Nolan movie, by the way, is just about how you make movies. It's all it is.
Is that yeah?
It's always some weird veiled like, Oppenheimer is about getting a team together to make a project. Inception is about getting a team together to make a project. The Dark Knight movies are about getting a team together to make a project. It's like Interstellar is about getting a team together to make a project. It's all just about making movies.
That's funny.
Yeah. Smart veiled references to his own genius. So in regards to who he was or his personality, I mentioned that there was a made-for-TV movie, and the person who played him was Jeff Bridges.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Bo Bridges. Sorry. It was Bo Bridges.
Bo Bridges.
Oh, okay.
The other Bridges.
Very different Bridges.
Yeah.
The other. And I actually like Bo Bridges. I always thought he was sort of
Bridges is nice too.
Bridges.
Who is he?
And he portrays him in the movie as
he's the brother of Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
Okay.
Might have to Google that picture, younger listeners. What was he in? The Fabulous Baker Boys with Jeff Bridges. What else?
Was he in? Was Jeff Bridges? I remember the Fabulous Baker Boys. I never saw it.
He was in Free Willy.
He played UCLA basketball.
Huh?
Did he really?
He was in college. Yeah. He was a pretty good baller, apparently. Yeah, that's a different story. Anyways, so Jeff
That's for your
Bridges
basketball podcast.
Yeah. I wish I would.
Sidekicks he was famously in.
I would love to have a basketball podcast. Anyways, so Bo Bridges.
I'll be on there with you if you want to do it. Let's do it. I'm totally down for a hoops show.
Okay, let's do it. So Bo Bridges,
sports podcaster. Sorry, continue.
Plays him as a charismatic and lovable dude. The guy was pretty well loved, but I didn't get the sense he was charismatic. Sounds like he was kind of shy. Maybe he was a good listener. I don't know. I think, and that might be part of it too. Women just want someone who listens.
I don't know, man.
Everybody would just want someone who listens. Yeah, and it's like, I don't want you to listen to me.
Let me tell you what women want.
Yeah. What do I want, Kaveh?
They want a good listener.
What? Can't hear you.
There's no public.
Women don't want a doctor who listens. They just want a doctor who tells them that they're making it all up.
Yeah,
right?
it's
What do they always
anxiety.
say? It's anxiety. It's stress. Yeah.
It's anxiety.
Right. Oh, you're just being hysterical.
What's your period?
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Exactly.
Like, it's PMS. I'm like, buddy, I'm pregnant. That happened when I was pregnant once. I was like,
my
nope,
God.
can't. It's not my period.
Hope you got a new doctor.
I did, and it was a woman. I refuse. Sorry, no offense, Dr. Hoda, but like, I don't. I just do women doctors from
Hey, listen, that's okay. I'm more open-minded. I will see women and men. But that's just
Whoa.
open-minded guy. You know what I'm saying?
Feminist Hoda over here.
I will deal with it.
Sexist.
I will put up with the occasional male doctor if I have to. So I'm just saying.
No, like when I was giving birth,
open-minded.
there was like one little thing. It's like notes for like preferences, and I just wrote "no men" in big, huge letters. And they were like, "Hey, so our anesthesiologist is we only have men," and they were so nervous. They're like, "Can we? Is that okay?" I'm like, "I don't care. I'm insane right now. Yeah. Sure." Like,
no,
anyway.
You should definitely. You gotta see the person you want to see, and I hear that. I understand
Anyway,
So
sorry. Go
in
on.
regards to his personality, so it's hard to know for sure because I couldn't find any video footage of him, no audio recordings of him. Again, just this all
Just
happened
shy.
right before his
Yeah.
before the internet popped off. So I don't know. But he married his first wife, Diana, in 1960. They lived in a modest one-story house in Palo Alto, not far from the university. They had
I
three
bet it costs
children
like
together.
$500.
Yeah, at the
At
time.
the time, it was probably like, $37,000 is my guess, and now
That's
it's probably like
disgusting.
1.9 million.
$37 million.
Easy. Yeah, I'm sure. Even if it's a piece of crap, like it's probably
Oh, yeah.
3 million now. So whether or not this was intentional, or he sort of made it this way, or she just didn't have any interest, she left him to his work. She didn't interact much with his colleagues at work. It was his home life, and then it was his work life. And so no one really at work, except for maybe the oldest doctors who were there, who knew him from the very beginning, even knew about his wife.
Whoa.
So
Whoa.
there was...
There's a
wasn't
Futurama
at
gag that
parties.
was like this.
Really?
Where, yeah, it's like one of the earlier episodes where Leela's talking about her coworker that she tried to date. And she was like, well, I didn't know you had a wife. And he's like, and my wife doesn't know I have a job because I have to keep these things separate.
That's sort of what it was.
That's exactly.
She knew he had to work. And so at some point in this process, he starts to have an affair with a nurse. Now, unfortunately, that is
Predictable.
not too uncommon. You will see that.
Really?
You spend a lot of time in the hospital with these people, probably for some doctors, more time than they do with their actual family. And this nurse, Robin Phelps, they knew each other for years. And from what I can tell, they really loved each other. Robin was, at the time, had heard that he was married. From what, again, it's really hard to tease out for sure what happened, but what I gathered from as much information as I can was that Robin knew he had been married, didn't like the concept of being possibly the other woman, and told him, you got to get a divorce. There's lots of, he's going back and forth. Yeah, I'm going to leave her. I'm not going to leave her.
Oh,
yeah, I left her. Robin's very confused about the situation. At one point, she actually moves down to La Mesa in San Diego. He's heartbroken by that. He's telling her that it's over. She doesn't totally believe him. And then he takes a sabbatical from work at this point.
Okay.
He says to Stanford, I got to go down, do some research down in San Diego. I don't know if it was scripts or what. He goes down to follow Robin, the nurse, and he convinces her that it is totally over with his wife. It is not.
Does he have kids with his wife?
Yes, 3 kids.
Ew,
with his first
okay.
wife.
3.
Ew, not to the kids. Ew to him. That's
Yeah.
Yeah. It's getting weird, right?
He doesn't get to be heartbroken about her moving away.
Yeah.
That's what I'm.
Take care of your 3 children.
Yeah, it's the 60s.
What are you doing?
Well, he did have them very early, so they're like kind of grown adults by the time this happens.
Oh.
And they're actually out of the house by the time.
Okay,
this
never.
happened.
Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
he goes down
Empty
to San
nest.
Diego, chases this woman down, convinces her that it is over with his wife, that he quit his job. He's just focused on this. She's like, great, this is fantastic. They have a great couple of months there. He gets into a car accident.
Oh no!
Someone from Stanford calls Robin to check in, and they want to see how he was doing. And they're like, hey, when's he coming back from sabbatical? And Robin's like, what do you mean sabbatical? He quit. And she's like, they're like, no, he's on sabbatical.
Liar.
She gets mad. She kicks him out. Robin kicks him out at that point. He goes back to Palo Alto because his sabbatical's up anyway. So once he heals from his accident, Robin eventually marries someone else.
Okay.
She has a kid with that person. He doesn't really move on. He still pines for Robin. Again, he is married, has 3 kids, but he is pining for Robin. He doesn't seem to let go very easily. He contacts her every so often. This is back in the day of phone calls, didn't have internet, no texting. So he's just trying to stay in her life, essentially, at this point.
Yeah.
He tries to fill this role of a friend that she needs because she's going through some tough times. She ends up getting divorced. He's playing the friend card the whole time, being there supportive.
Oh, man,
Goes
he's just
down,
waiting in the wings.
waiting in the
Yeah.
wings. During this time,
Turn off. Or Robin, I'd be
mean-
like, ew.
Yeah. Get away from me.
At this point, she does believe that he is divorced,
Oh.
but she's
Okay.
mad. Mostly, it seems like, because he lied to her about the job.
Yeah. Oh,
That's the reason that she's upset.
Right.
I was
Look,
like,
the
that seems
70s
like
were a
not that
different
big of a
time.
deal, I guess.
Yeah. So in the meantime, he meets
I
Katie
can't believe you're
Mayer.
still employed. Like, why would you be upset about that?
Well, I mean, I think the part of the
Yeah.
thing was like, he was always hard to get a hold of. He was always off doing something. He was never fully committed for many reasons, but one of them was because he was always supposedly at work. And if you're always at work, you can't have a real relationship if you're that married to your job. And listen,
right.
I'm a doctor and I have a busy doctor schedule, but you never have to choose a doctor job that's so busy that you can't exist outside of it. Like that doesn't have to be. You can exist in other forms. So anyways, during this time, he meets Katie Mayer. She's a woman who works in administration at Stanford Hospital. And he woos her in, I don't know, whatever 80s way seems appropriate. I'm assuming an arcade was involved. Mini golf. What was big in the 80s? What did people do for dates?
Go-karts.
Go-karts? It's still great. So things get serious. Everyone who has known him from the past now believes that he's divorced his first wife.
Uh-huh.
And in 1985, he marries Katie.
Okay.
So makes an honest woman out of her.
Yeah, sort of. I know.
Turns it back around.
I don't know if it's honest. He marries Katie at a public ceremony, which is just
bold.
Wild. The boldness of it. Attended by some of the colleagues at Stanford, so people are there. Katie, like everyone else, believed he divorced his first wife. I mean, the people that knew about her, now all think they're divorced. They share a home also in Los Altos, not far from Palo Alto.
That's like a 10-minute drive.
He marries this Katie, and they share a home not too far from the home of his first wife. And she becomes the public-facing wife. So when there's events, like there's a medical school event, or a new wing of the hospital comes in, she's the person that comes in. There was actually a story I saw that the two wives had met in a mall, and he was able to sort of play it off. Like, he was there with one wife, and then he ran into the other wife, and he just was able to sort of play it off like, oh yeah, this is Katie, you don't know her, she's from work, whatever, but he never says the words, this is my wife. He is able to be like, this is such and such and such, and he's like, okay, I'll call you later. We're going to go get some stuff taken care of for work and get out of here. I don't know the details of it, but I can only imagine either one of two possibilities. He's either dying on the inside because of how stressful it is, or he's a complete psychopath. And it's just
it's more that one.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone could keep this up for that long. I mean, so hold on. So he's still technically married to the first one, right?
Correct. Yeah. And
so
Katie,
does she know that? The first one still thinks they're married.
The first one still thinks they're married. They are. The first one is the quote unquote real legal marriage. Still.
And so she's just like, my husband's. Okay, got it.
My husband's very busy. He works in the hospital constantly. He's on call. He is dead, and he is, from all accounts, he still is.
Insane.
He is doing his job. And so
is he going to spend the night at the first home once a week or something? Like, how does that? What are the logistics here?
So his primary home is the first home. But he'll be like, I gotta go. I'm on call. I gotta go to the hospital, and he'll spend the night at someone else's house.
Jeez.
Or he'll go to their house and be like, all right, I gotta go back to the hospital, and he'll go back and forth. And part of the thing about medicine is our jobs to people outside. I mean, this wouldn't have worked for another doctor if he married a doctor.
Yeah,
right.
It wouldn't have worked. Yeah. But you don't know what I do. And I'm like, I don't know. I could easily tell you. I'm like, I got to go. I'm on call. And sometimes I am. And I have to be super busy. Sometimes my calls can be incredibly busy. But there are times when they're not. And not everyone knows, if you don't know. If you don't know the gig, I don't know what you guys do. I don't know how much time you guys spend drawing things. Do your drawings take you 5 minutes?
I gotta go. I gotta draw overnight at someone's house. I gotta draw a picture of a cat.
My husband would be like, no,
I don't know,
you
he's
don't.
An artist. Right, exactly. But I could be like, I don't know, maybe that's how artists work. Shit, I don't know.
Right, especially if you're not
all week on one panel.
Yeah. In their life, like if his wife was like, I don't know, he just does his work stuff, and I just chill at this house in Palo Alto.
That's how you keep the marriage going, is that you don't ask a lot of questions. You're like, that's his domain. This is my domain. I don't need to know. That's what matters. That's
separate
how we're
but
healthy.
Equal.
Exactly.
I will say this about Katie. She does, at multiple points, mention how weird it is that she hasn't met his kids. And she's like, I want to meet your kids. It's like, the divorce was acrimonious. And
they're also on call.
They're on call. That's right.
They're on call at their kid jobs. Right. I don't know. Whatever kids do.
I tried to find out some stuff about the kids, but they kept a very low profile. They've never
Yeah.
spoke about any of this, so I don't know. Anyways, during all this time, he never really gives up on Robin. He's still pining for Robin, the nurse in San Diego.
Bro,
And-
get it together. I'm sick of this guy. Okay. Sorry,
She's
go on.
heard. She's heard because she has connections to the hospital. And this is the sad thing. This is I mean, doctors, you live in the hospital so much. It is your world. It is a little bit of a bummer when I see doctors only dating people in the hospital.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? It becomes kind of a
Yeah.
bummer, but it is like kind of like a world in of itself, an ecosystem that exists. So Robin in San Diego heard about this marriage to Katie because they still have mutual friends in
Yeah.
the same places, and she talks to him every now and then. But he convinces her that he is divorcing his second wife. He's planning on retiring soon to San Diego, which is a good plan in general. He's convincing her of this while he's visiting back and forth. He goes, he spends time with her, and she's a single mom at this point because I don't know if she got married or not, but she's a single mom. So we spend a lot of time with her. And actually, it's interesting as I heard that they were actually friends. Like the second and soon to be third wife were
This guy.
were
What?
friends.
What do they
But anyway,
talk about?
But here's
Yeah.
the thing I gotta say. I'm glad you're focusing on him because I think a lot of people hear the story and they blame these women. I think that's not fair. I think he put on a very good act. He was beloved, and there was very little reason to doubt him. And he actually was able to show her copies of what looked like divorce records. I don't know if he forged them. I assume he did. But he was able to show her paperwork to be like, look, I'm for real. I divorced not only my first one, that second one. Don't call her and hang out. I mean, like, because obviously there's no Facebook. There's no, there's nothing.
You can't,
Instagram.
you can't look. It's like
nobody
written on a
knows.
cocktail napkin or something, basically, in the 90s.
And even though it's only like 7 to 8 hours driving away from each other, it's like a world away.
That's
You're
a
not
long
just running into
time.
each other. Yeah.
In like a 1980s car, they can't go. They're not like the cars we have, and they're loud and hot, and you have to drive down the 101 and for 8 hours straight.
Yeah.
I would never do that,
no.
even for a friend.
So it's actually kind of I mean, this is the beauty of the
angry.
simpler days that we were.
I'm getting really angry at this guy.
No,
Here's
he's
the
kind of a
thing.
hero.
How many lives?
Just
Okay,
saying
because
that
you know
to
how
get mad.
I'm not actually that mad about that. I'm mad because like think about how many more lives he could have saved if he didn't spend all this extra time cheating on his wives.
For sure.
Like he did a ton, but like there could have been more.
No, I mean, honestly, yeah, I don't know how it's possible. I just don't know how it's possible that he could have, and we'll get to it. I think he honestly could have lived longer, but we'll get to that. So,
Fascinating. Okay, so he's telling Robin that he's getting divorced and he's getting
Which
married.
it's
He's convinced
weird
of
too
it.
because a marriage, basically they say married men tend to live like a certain percentage longer than unmarried
Yeah.
men, right?
That's right,
So
yeah.
by this extrapolation,
And married
he should have
women
lived three times as long as any
right.
normal
He should
man.
be 150.
because he has 3 marriages. Yeah,
Well,
the fact that he died at the 52 doesn't make sense. Something's not
we'll talk
stacking
about
up here.
that. We'll talk about that. But the other thing about that statistic you mentioned that men who are married, they actually live longer. The funny thing is that women who are married live shorter than women who
is
are
that
not
true?
married.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
like because we are terrible, and we age women or make their lives much less healthy.
Well,
So, anyways,
I would say
But
that
then women
the
with
way
kids
that
live longer, right?
Yes, the way that men have been socialized is what wears women out. I don't want to blame all men. Genuinely,
listen,
It's,
I think it's all men.
No one's
All
arguing with you. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. No, yeah, you don't have. We're
Salute.
not going to defend men here. But getting to your point, what we're talking about, I actually have a couple of quotes. Like here's one from Diarmuid McGuire, a spokesperson for the Lucille Salter Packard Children's Hospital. That's the kids' hospital in Stanford.
yeah.
I don't know where he found the time. When I say he was dedicated to his work, I mean it was the focus of his life. Because he was making things happen there.
Yeah.
And he was running. He wasn't just like a guy working there. He was like in charge. He was like the head of departments. And somehow
Wow.
he was able to juggle 3 homes, 3 wives, 2 in the San Francisco Bay Area, 1 in Southern
my
California.
gosh.
Each thought when he was gone, he was busy from work. This is back in the day when we had pagers. And that's the only, so he would get a page And whether or not he was doing it to himself, I don't know. Whether or not he was actually getting pages. And he'd be like, oh, God, I got to go. Got to get out of here. See you later. Love you, honey. And how it usually worked was at the end of his workday, he would usually go home to second wife, Katie.
Okay.
Around 10 p.m. Public wife.
Yeah.
Around 10 p.m., he would leave there saying he was going to go sleep at the hospital because he was snoring. He snored quite a bit. And apparently this probably bothered her. This is before CPAP machines. And so he was snoring so much that he had to do work or he had a sick patient. There was always a reason. And then he would go to Palo Alto to his first wife, Diana.
Yeah.
Mother wife.
Mother wife.
I mean, maybe she enjoyed her time alone. I don't know. Maybe
she might have.
I think she probably did, yeah.
I think, yeah.
And so in the morning, he would leave early to go back to second wife, have breakfast with them. During this time, this is
insane.
Again, you gotta. There's at least a part of you has to respect the grind.
You need like spreadsheets for this level of cheating on everybody. Jesus Christ, what kind of calendar do you have?
Dude, I couldn't keep it straight. I'm too lazy to cheat on my husband. Like,
exactly.
When would I do it?
It's a lot of stories to keep in track of. Yeah, no, I agree.
And the Californian in me is like all the driving.
Yeah.
All the freeways.
It's true, but Los Altos and Palo Alto, thankfully.
Oh, they're right.
They're closer.
Okay. Yeah. You can take back.
What about wife number 3, though? How often is he seeing them in San Diego?
Good question. So about 2 weekends a month, he travels to San Diego to visit Robin Phelps.
So did she just not want to come up north, or what's the arrangement with the two of them exactly?
A good question, and I don't really know, but I assume it was some combination of like, hey, I'm retiring soon, and this is where I want to retire. So just stay here, build our life here. I'm going to keep working up there, finishing up stuff, but I'll come down here. And that's not uncommn. Like, I mean, I do know relationships that have made that sort of thing work.
Yeah.
But yeah, must have been exhausted. He would have often 2 dinners a night, by the way.
No.
And 2 breakfasts a day. So
second breakfast, literally.
He was gaining weight.
He's like a hobbit.
Unbelievable.
There were.
It's a hobbit serial philanderer having multiple meals a day.
He's gaining weight. How could you not? And he's like chugging antacids because like of the stress of this and the weight and reflux. And there was actually one, Robin Phelps was quoted saying, I know for a fact, there was one Thanksgiving when he had 3 dinners.
No. Oh, God.
Of course he was overweight. He had 3 wives feeding him. So 3 dinners in one Thanksgiving, which is amazing.
He drove to San Diego on Thanksgiving and ate again?
I assume he flew. I assume like he flew.
Oh, I forgot about planes. Oh my goodness, I forgot about planes.
So I don't know. Yeah. So there is some questions out there about how much Diana, the first wife, actually knew.
I think she knew
There
a
are
lot.
some people who say that his philandering was made possible by her laissez-faire attitude, who was willing to maybe have an arrangement with him as long as he did certain things like slept in the Palo Alto home, did not seek a divorce.
That was pretty common back then, honestly.
Maybe, yeah. And some sources that asked to not be identified, and she's declined, they said that she knew about this and she was okay with it as long as the will, all that stuff went to her and the kids, and they were the primary recipients. So she's obviously declined to be interviewed.
Who knows what she's up to? She might have had 3 marriages on her own separately. They could have had 6 between the 2 of them.
I want to hear about
Diana. The story could be even better.
That's the story I want to know about.
I know.
How many husbands did she have?
Yeah.
So before he died, things started to unravel. Robin Phelps, the nurse in San Diego, is starting to become suspicious because she is hearing from friends, hey, we saw Norman with like another woman at like a shopping mall or something at the Valley Fair, and who's that? And like you'd come up with excuses, and she actually would at one point, at least if not more than that, she would come up to surprise him, and and he was very good, it seems like, at gaslighting her, and she would say like, hey, how come your license still has this address of your first wife on it, on your license? And he'd be like, well, that's because the library there is so good, I need to like get stuff from there. He's library, smart dude. Which is a good reason. Listen, if you have a great library, I get it. I love my San Francisco libraries. So anyways, at some point she wises up. she gets the assistance of a private investigator, and she
Mhm.
finds out he was never divorced, which I don't know totally legally. We'll talk a little more
Yeah, I
about
don't
the legal
understand how
stuff
that
here.
works. How are
But
you filing
she-
taxes?
That's a great question. Yeah.
Maybe he's not.
So she sought to annul their marriage.
Yeah, but she
and
would be filing taxes with both of the second
Joint
wives
taxes.
would both be would be filing him as like, how does the government not figure out
Well-
that you're married to 3 people?
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, we'll get into that a little bit.
There's holes in this story, you
There's-
guys.
yeah.
I'm telling you.
I don't.
And this is doctor
I
money.
don't-
This isn't like some guy who makes like whatever $12 an hour. You're making
Yeah,
theoretically, you got multiple houses everywhere. He's making some
I
bank.
mean, a doctor that works for an academic institution does not have the money to pay for 3 wives.
No.
But let's table that for now because I think we are going
Okay,
to come back.
sorry,
to that.
continue. I got very
So
excited.
she seeks to annul the marriage. Obviously, doesn't want to see him again. She negotiates through her attorney that Lewiston would pay her a small cash settlement. He did pay the money apparently, but he never signed the court papers. So technically, she was still married to him at the time of his death. He was under a lot of stress. People said it started to show in his work. People were covering for him. He was constantly having people covering for him. He seemed low energies. About 10 days before he died, Norman and Katie Lewiston, remember, a public-facing wife, attended the annual Ross Mossier. I don't know why I decided to put in the name of that
Ross
golf
Mossier.
tournament. Not that any of
Oh.
us would know what that is.
Huge
But,
golf
Look,
contingent of the
this guy.
podcast
Listenership,
audience.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
everyone
Kaveh-
loves golf here.
Kaveh loves golf.
I'm a
He
huge
loves-
fan of golf. I
he
definitely
loves the
don't want all
water.
golf courses to
Yeah.
burn down and be turned into
He wants
homeless
more
housing.
water to be diverted to golf
More
courses.
golf
he told
courses.
Me.
Data
Yeah.
centers and golf courses. Those
Yeah.
are the 2 things we love the most here.
I don't know if you had this, but in San Francisco, when COVID first happened, they opened up
Yeah.
all the golf courses as public courses for people to just go hang out on.
Really?
And it was awesome. It was so cool.
We should
I
do that with
really
every
loved it.
golf course.
Every golf course should just be a park.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like it should close down at least a couple days a week. That should be like contingent in like city
Yeah.
planning and zoning. Like just open it up for people. Anyways, so
See, I just
here's
want them all
what's funny.
gone. But
Mm.
that's fun.
Here's what's funny. So at this golf tournament, there was a door prize, and as luck would have it,
Another wife.
Another what?
One.
Dang it! you beat me to the joke.
the door prize was a weekend in San Francisco, and like a all expenses paid weekend in the city.
Mhm.
And Katie was excited about it, as one witness mentioned, but Norm did not look very excited about it because he was like, oh God, he had to immediately come up with excuses because he was supposed to like go down to San Diego to see his wife that weekend. And he's just clearly like, this is wearing him down, and he's
Yeah.
starting to fray the edges. And this is like 5+ years of this, right?
Oh my-
He actually died on August 6, 1991 at the home of the first wife. Years of stress, doing nothing other than eating, working, traveling, and coming up with lies between 3 wives caught up to him. Massive
banging.
heart attack. And banging, maybe. I don't know.
He's
He
got,
must have been
you got to
good at
keep all
something.
3 of them happy, right? On
Yeah.
some level, he's got to be
It's a
doing
lot of
it.
work, yeah. Again, way more work than I'm happy that I can deal with in middle age.
That
I
anyone
can't.
can.
I'm
Yeah.
not 3-wife Kaveh. That's
Yeah. Neither am I.
there's more. There's a lot of Kaveh, but not enough Kaveh.
No.
Not that much.
Not that much Kaveh. So the first wife brings him to the hospital, but someone in the hospital calls Katie because they think Katie's his wife.
Oh, this is
So
like a sitcom.
Mhm.
So they both come forward to claim the body.
No.
Not long after,
No.
Robin Phelps is also contacted, and
Mhm.
she comes up. Yeah, it's pretty wild, right? Can
Oh, Okay.
you imagine? It is just like an amazing situation. So the first wife, Diane, is the only one in the will. And
Right.
Oh, shit.
and maybe
Oh,
that was
man.
part of their deal, or maybe it just happened that way. But she was also basically privy to the house. And, what I want to talk about is why this happened. Because this goes, I mean, everyone can understand
Yeah.
it. People, like, having an affair is pretty straightforward. You don't have to really explain that too much.
Yeah.
Like,
happens all the
sometimes
time.
people want to hook up with somebody else.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
Sometimes there's love, but this goes beyond that.
This
Not
is
only
like,
did he not leave the person, first of all, not only did he want to start enter into a marriage with another person, he didn't want to leave his first person. So this is like a different level of pathology that
Yeah.
I find really fascinating. And
He
none of the
can't-
women doubted that he
can't-
loved them.
No, he can't metaphorically close a door. Like,
Yes.
He can't. He's not. It's not possible.
But it's the marriage part is what's weird. It's like just have two mistresses instead of being married multiple times. That's the part that's the strangest.
But
to me.
that's what's interesting to me too, because I don't think he wanted a mistress. I don't think he wanted someone that would be comfortable with that. The kind of thing he was attracted to was someone who wasn't going to be okay with him being with other women. Like for some reason that just didn't appeal to him.
That was like his kink.
That was sort of like his, I think. Like there were multiple sources that said he just couldn't say no. Like I think there's a part of it that like he was such a people pleaser. As I mentioned, doctors are people pleasers. I think like he was to this nth degree of it. He witnessed a lot of death in his job, a lot of it. He had difficulty parting with people. I think that was something that really weighed on him. And I just don't think he had that inner strength, to be honest. But it is fascinating because on one hand, he can deal with these really intense emotional struggles of his work.
Yeah.
And he had room in his heart for love, but he couldn't manage this.
3 of them.
Or maybe just a piece of shit. I don't know. I think it's a fascinating thing, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to consider if he had been a different kind of doctor. Like if he had just been like a dentist or something, like would he have had
not a
life-saving?
Yeah.
Right, but I'm saying like the stress and the insanity, and it's like one leads to the other, it sounds like is what you're saying. So it's like if he had just had like a whatever I do cavity and crowns or whatever.
Right.
Like he would have just been like, cool, I have one marriage and it's fine. And I don't, because a lot of times you get so much of this anxiety and insanity. The analog I can think of is just being on set, right? When you're like, okay, well, we're working 14 hours a day for like 6 days a week. It has to come out somewhere in some way. And some people it ends up being destructive and other people it ends up being like obsessing about exercising. But like that kind of insane energy does have to, like, it doesn't go anywhere if you don't, right? It either like crumbles internally or you have to manifest it into something. So I wonder if that's part of it too.
A lot of just internal stress. Well, and also like, I think the way we see it, because he did so much good, that's why everyone's like, well, why? How could he have done so much? But you know what I mean? Like, if it had been any other job, it would have been like, can you believe this guy had 3 wives? That's crazy. What a dick. But like, because he saved so many lives, I think we're looking at it in a different way. You know what I mean? Where it's like,
he could have been like a founder and been like, oh, I have 3 different startups in Silicon Valley right now, and I also have 3 wives. And I'm just like, I got to go to the WeWork downtown tonight because whoever Adam Newman's coming to meet me in the morning, and I want to make sure I'm rested.
Exactly.
What's interesting to me, that one recurring thing I saw is that people did not describe him as being like a slick player. Like he didn't get that sense of like that Silicon Valley out for themselves. Elon Musk just want to people the world with his own like genetics. That wasn't like
famous slick player Elon Musk.
You're right. It was almost like his being a doctor, like his devotion. The flip side of that was like his inability to like say no and to do the right thing when he had to say no. Katie Lewiston said he never liked to let go of anyone. I think.
Well, there it is.
And again, what's wild about this is that his wives said nice things about him afterwards. He was an incredibly kind,
they married him for a
person.
reason.
Yeah. The kind of person you instantly like, said Phelps. Everybody just loved him. But she said, I can't figure out why or how he did it. I truly believed he loved all 3 of us, but was incapable of letting go of any of the relationships. Just wild, right? Just an interesting story. So I have a couple more quotes and closing thoughts on this. Do we have time?
Yeah. Go for it.
This is fun.
It knocked my socks off, said Mosier of Clyde Mosier, the investment guy who created that golfing tournament. When I look back at Norm, I got a picture of a guy who was brilliant, but just never learned the word no.
Oh.
When Lewiston died, I think his body just rebelled at the end and said, I can't put up with this.
Yeah.
Understandable.
And then another quote, this is anonymous from a doctor at the hospital. It's easy to fantasize about how much fun he had or how much fun he was having, but I think it was hell for Norman.
Yeah.
I think he got himself into a complete mess and didn't have the character to get out of it.
Yeah.
I think there's truth to that. I think there's truth. I'm not saying that justifies him, but I do think that like he probably got stuck in this thing and did not know how to get out of it. And I always wonder, like, what was his long-term plan?
He
Like,
didn't
what
have
was he
one.
thinking?
You
I was
absolutely didn't
I'm
have one. Yeah.
fascinated to know what he thought would happen.
He lived day to day.
Uh,
I guarantee
Yeah.
it.
100%.
He was
So-
survival mode.
That's probably true, yeah. I agree. And so, along with these three widows, the respected lung transplant specialist also left behind questions about the handling of hospital research funds.
Oh.
Now, I have to be careful when I talk about this because I didn't see any like court records. There's none of this was
Allegedly.
there. Allegedly. So
We'll just say all allegedly.
he
Some
can't
people are
sue me.
saying.
But auditors
Yes,
did find a
heard.
private bank account that Lewiston set up for research expenses and at least one check written to an ex-wife. They were never able to prove any obvious wrongdoing, and there was really no transparency, particularly at the time, how much doctors were getting paid from the university. But honestly, you could not have been making enough money to
No.
care for three families.
No.
Like at the time I looked into it, the professor of pediatrics at his rank probably getting something around $90,000 to $100,000 per year. Pretty good. On top of maybe some consulting work he was doing to maybe make a little income. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't really know how he was able to afford this. By the way, it did ruin the credit of the second and third wives. Like they,
Oh, why?
Like their business credit, you're saying.
yeah.
oh, I
credit
thought you meant like their
scores.
reputation. I'm like,
No,
wow.
their
Their credit
mean,
scores.
I'm
Their
sure
ability
people
to
blame them.
borrow.
No, I
Oh,
do
people
think
blame
people
them, yeah.
blame them, even though
Oh, yeah.
incorrectly. But yeah, no, their actual like tax credit. So to try and recoup some of that, they did sell a script about this. And
Oh, right. I
It
forgot
was a
about the
made-for-TV movie with
That's right.
Beau Bridges.
So the wives teamed
called-
up
Yeah,
and were like, hell yeah.
which is kind of cool, right? Which
Yeah.
is kind of cool.
Honestly,
Yes.
I want this movie to be basically like Rashomon, where you're seeing the marriage from three different perspectives.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And the
Oh,
movie
that'd
was
be
called
incredible.
The Man with Three Wives.
That's the most
Really
the
great
worst.
title.
Are you kidding me right now?
Very creative.
Yeah, here is a user review.
That sounds like a
featured
Simpsons
review.
reference. Or
Yes.
just
I,
like,
I did watch it, by the way.
the bus
did
that
watch
couldn't slow
Yeah.
down. Oh my God, you can
No,
find
I
it?
watched
Where is it? Is it on YouTube?
It's on YouTube. I think that's
Okay.
where I watched it.
I think
And
I'd like to do a watch
And
party
again,
of that. That
it
sounds
is
fun.
hard for me to know how much of it's accurate and how much of it's not because it just doesn't. There's not really good, accurate writing about it. It's all stories you have to piece together, but it does seem pretty with it. It does seem like it relates a lot of the stories that they tell because apparently it was them who helped write it. So here is a featured review on the movie from IMDb, 8 out of 10 stars.
Oh.
I was there. ...
Oh.
Okay.
I worked for
Who's
the
the
doctor who
fourth
had
wife?
3 wives. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to be identified, so please no questions. This wonderful cardiologist, already kind of a problem because he wasn't a cardiologist,
Yeah.
but maybe this person, because he did work with transplant, and sometimes you do heart and lung transplants, so
Okay.
it's already kind of weird. This wonderful cardiologist performed a heart and lung transplant on a young 7-year-old boy who passed after 103 days post-surgery. Also, unfortunately, not uncommon that people would die after transplant those days. He was a wonderful young man named David, and the doctor was very kind and committed to his patients. I don't agree with having 3 wives and how deceptive he was, but I got to know his personal side, and I want to tell you, he was a very personable and had a very good soul.
Okay.
Grammatical errors, but that's fine. It was a privilege to work for him. I thought Mr. Bridges played him well in the movie, but a few of the facts were not correct. I am retired now and have a hard time typing, so my apologies for the shortness of my submission.
You
So
took all the
sweet.
time to
I
type
lost,
that
so
out?
sweet. So sweet. Anyways, another interesting thing that came out after this aftermath of his death was that Stanford University discovered he had this. You guys kind of mentioned this. He had
Yeah.
successfully enrolled multiple wives under various university medical and dental benefit programs.
Right. Yes.
So he had
What?
3. Yeah. Again, spreadsheets must have been necessary because he had 3 entirely separate. Like he had 3 desks in each house, 3 different briefcases in each house, different setups, each containing different keys. He had distinct financial ledgers, and he'd have like family photos that were appropriate for the family.
Compartmentalized, yeah.
Really
Yeah, I would have
compart-
died
like,
too.
Mhm.
Right. It's a lot of stress. And as I mentioned, he left behind the will that split his estate between his kids and his first wife. And
goodness.
because polygamy is illegal in California, his second and third marriages were legally void from the moment they happened, which left Katie and Robin with zero marital rights to his estate or his Stanford pension.
That's
and
awful.
this screwed them over. They filed creditor claims and lawsuits against the estate, arguing that they were what are called putative spouses, which are partners who believe in good faith that they are the only wife. And they were, rightfully so, felt like they were defrauded out of years of financial gain. So anyways,
that's wild.
Unreal.
The story, I thought, I'm glad you guys appreciate it, because I think it's a crazy story and nobody knows about it. I would like to see this movie be made again. I like to do that.
Better.
I'll play the guy. I think I can do it.
I think I can. He
had a big beard, but I can grow one out for the role.
Grow one.
Yeah.
I'll direct it. I'll direct you in it.
I would love that. Can we do that? Why don't you write the script?
I think it'll be one day in his life between, or like one weekend maybe, like between, which could also be a play.
We do Thanksgiving.
Oh, Thanksgiving Day, yes,
perfect. The doctor's Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
and it's like, dude, I would love that. And it's like that one episode of Always Sunny where it's one huge take.
Yeah, like the Birdman episode. Yeah,
where it's just this guy rushing around to different Thanksgivings.
Yeah, I think we can do this. I think this can happen, you guys. I think it's the Rashomon. It's the Rashomon. It's about like the 3 different wives' perspectives rather than his perspective.
Yeah,
it's a good idea. Right,
I do want to say one more thing, just to. I think the reason people end up, I wanted to not correct or anything, but just address the thing that guy said about how he couldn't say no.
Yeah.
That to me is some guy being like, these women just kept pressuring him to be their wife. You know what I mean? Like, it puts it on the women. Yeah. It's like he just couldn't say. He was too nice. He couldn't say no. He could say no. He could say no. Like, I'm sorry, people pleasers. Like I'm not saying that's like they should be absolved of all of it, because they shouldn't. You can say no at any time. You can back
this
out.
Is on him.
Yeah, this is all on him. I think people end up blaming women because that kind of language of like, he just couldn't be, So I just want to be like, man.
I listen, I have been in situations like where you're in a relationship and you're for whatever reason not feeling it, but I was terrible at breaking up with people.
Oh yeah.
When I was dating, I just couldn't do it. I was so bad at it.
It's
couldn't
stressful.
bring myself to. So stressful, and I think that's something that a lot of people have. Probably most people have that. But there's some pathology in this that took it to like some sort of deeper, crazier level where you would just do. And he was a rational guy who followed scientific like laws and like could think scientifically and logically. But when it came to this, his brain was broken and he could not like say, this is a bad idea. This is going to have terrible outcomes.
It's one of those things where it's like it's two things at once. This guy made a bunch of bad decisions that hurt a bunch of people, but he also was like really good at his job. And I don't think that if it was like a bus driver or like a mailman, we'd be talking about it. Like that's
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
It comes
down
to
a bus driver who managed to have 3 families. I'd be very impressed. I'd do a whole podcast
I shouldn't have said
on
bus
that too.
Driver. Bus drivers are awesome. I should say if this were like
also, it's just a lot of hours at that job, is what I'm saying. I'm like, that's a crazy job to have 3 wives.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's a story of Dr. Norman J. Lewiston.
Wonderful,
a cautionary tale in many aspects.
Wild.
And get married once, sure. Get married twice, maybe not. But certainly don't get married a 3rd time, you guys out there.
At the same time. Listen, if you divorce all these people, get divorced and married as much as you want. Don't marry 3 people at the same time where they don't know about each other.
Yeah, okay? That's the important thing. Is the consent.
Kids, go out, have your fun. Have your polycules. We're too old for that. We missed the boat on that, but you guys
I didn't
do that.
And I said no to the Texan.
Anyway, on that note, Hoda, thank you so much. So how do you want to close your tabs today? What sound effect would you like to include?
A man's heart giving out after lying for 5 years. Sorry.
Let's do a massive fart. Can you do that? Can you make a loud,
I guess,
a GI
fart?
Doctor would.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Because you fart when you die, right? A lot of times they just like let out all the gas in your body.
Not really. I mean,
depends.
I don't know. That happens before you die too. Unfortunately, sorry guys, but
that's
sometimes
true.
people get old and they're sick. They shit themselves. It happens. It's life. Let's close it with a big fart sound.
Okay, big fart sound. It is. You ready, Hoda? 3, 2, 1. And
beautiful.
Moving on to listener emails. This week's email is from Charlie,
Charlie.
from someplace far away, because I don't know where Charlie's from. Hello,
He's
500
next
Open
door.
Tabbers.
He's right
yeah, right.
next door.
Charlie is living in Palo Alto in 2 different houses, and then one in San Diego as well. Hello, 500 Open Tabbers. Since the new trailer for Coyote vs. Acme came out, I went down a Looney Tunes Tabbit hole. One thing that caught my interest is one of the first instances of a Looney Tune being licensed out for cross-promotional product placement reasons. That's a tongue twister.
Yeah.
In 1969, the car of the year in the U.S. was the Plymouth Roadrunner.
Oh,
Turns out, when it debuted, General Motors actually had paid to license the Roadrunner as the mascot for the car. This was the 1960s, so the first generation of people who grew up with Looney Tunes were now in their early middle age and had disposable income to spend on mid-century U.S. muscle cars that got terrible gas mileage and had the bottoms rust out of them after a couple of years. So I guess they were hoping that Looney Tunes nostalgia would help sell the cars. This is basically like everybody in their 40s now coming to buy Ninja Turtles gear at Comic-Con conventions. Yeah. It's the only money they have. General Motors, the parent company of Plymouth, paid $50,000, over $400,000 today, to use the Roadrunner name for the baseline model, as well as use decals / ornamentation of the Roadrunner character on the vehicle's fenders and or engine block as an optional feature. They also used the image for their more high-end performance version, the Plymouth Superbird, which is also the make and model that later inspired the character of the King in the original Cars movie. Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not all. GM paid an additional $10,000 for the rights to the Roadrunner's line Meep Meep.
Amazing.
GM engineers designed the horn to sound identical to the cartoon Meep Meep sound. And they didn't just design the horn.
That's
Horns
crazy.
are located under the hood of the car in the engine bay. So as the sound is created, the way the sound waves bounce around the engine bay under the hood has a major influence on how the horn sounds when someone hears it once the sound wave reaches the ears. So GM engineers had to redesign the entire engine bay so that their horn sounded like the Roadrunner.
Incredible.
Meep Meep.
That's amazing.
The Roadrunner
That's
went the
so
way of
amazing.
lots of the American auto industry when the gas crisis of the 70s hit and the Plymouth was discontinued by GM in the early 2000s. Thanks again for your shows. I really enjoyed them. Cheers. History of the Plymouth Roadrunner included as a link. Charlie. Thank you,
Wow.
Charlie.
Did not know that.
Yeah, I
That's
didn't know.
crazy.
Meep. Now I got to find one of those cars. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
YouTube videos of this stuff. We got to go look up and play.
Meep,
If
meep.
you also
Meep,
have
meep.
a listener email you'd like to send us, please send it to 500opentabs@gmail.com. That's 500. And Dr. Kaveh Hoda, thank you again for the wonderful tab and for taking the time to come on our show. Where can people find you? What are you up to? What do you want to plug? Let the people know.
Okay, first of all, thank you again for having me on, both of you. I really appreciate it. I really like coming on the show. That was fun. And I'm so glad I could find someone else that would appreciate this story because it's
I
it's
love
wild.
messy drama,
It's so messy. I
It's
love
fun.
drama too. I hate to admit it. But
especially when it's not me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the best kind of drama,
Yeah.
not me drama.
Yeah.
If people want to hear us take down medical / wellness grifters or learn interesting things about their body and public health care and how the current administration is actively dismantling it and destroying it, you can listen to my podcast, The House of Pod. It's The House of Pod. You can hear these two hosts of this show on that podcast. They've been on more than once. And you can find us anywhere. And then also something else exciting that's coming out in September is going to be a new podcast that I am doing with Shaheen Davari of Survivor Season 48 fame.
Oh.
An old friend of mine happened to go on Survivor. But we are doing a show, and Kaveh here, other Kaveh Minor, is going to be definitely coming on to be a part of. It is going to be called Persian of Interest. And it's going to be about interesting Persian people through history, contributions
love
to
that.
the art, science, philosophy, etc. This all comes from this place of not only wanting to reconnect with our roots, but also because, largely Persian contributions to all these things have been written out of history or minimized. And we are aiming to address that and to do it, I hope, in a fun way. So it's going to be called Persian of Interest. If you want to check it out, what we'll do is we'll tell you more about it on the House of Pod. So you can just find me first on the House of Pod, subscribe there, and you will get updates on Persian of Interest and Kaveh's appearances on that. And Hana, also, you can
No.
come
No,
and
I'm
join
good.
us at some point. I do. One of my favorite things to do is to take white names and horribly mispronounce them.
Yeah.
So, because it makes me feel a lot better.
Absolutely.
About
Hillam.
Hana.
Hana Hillam. That's fine. That's
Hana
my
Hana
name.
Hillam.
Hillam. You have the most Muslim-sounding name of anyone on this podcast. Just so
I
we're
know.
clear about that too. Okay, good.
Well, that's what somebody called me at one of my book
Haram.
signings.
Yeah.
They introduced
a
me as
Muslim?
Hana Hallam. I don't
That's
know.
Great. It does sound great. It does sound like a
And then you look
poem
at me
from,
and you're like,
Rumi.
huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of cultural appropriation, yeah, for real.
So check us out there. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it.
I'm excited for that show. That sounds really fun. Thank you for
I
being
hope
on our
so,
show.
yeah.
Thank you for being on our show. And if you want to follow our show, you can do 500 open tabs on Instagram and Blue Sky. You can follow me at Hannah Hillam on everything and Kaveh at
I'm at PermaFriends on Instagram, and I'm Kaveh Taherian on Blue Sky. Thank you guys again. Thank you, Dr. Hoda, once again for coming on. Thank you guys for listening. If you have 3 wives, please send all of your wives this episode
Godspeed.
independently. Don't tell the other one that you sent them this episode,
Yeah.
but share this episode with people that you know that
And
would
be
be
like,
interested
do you believe
in it.
that guy? That guy.
Yeah.
had 3
Crazy.
wives. What-
I've only got one.
if you are a
have 2
wife
wives,
of one
let us
person.
know.
Yeah. If you don't
Yeah.
have any, send it to the people you want to be married to. That'll
Yeah,
really
3.
get them into you.
Choose
Yeah.
3 people that you want to marry. Yes, that's
Yeah.
a good idea. And send
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
to each of them. And maybe they will. But there's no
Maybe.
guarantees. But if they do listen to this and you get married, you got to give us credit and have us, I don't know,
Yeah.
invite us to the wedding. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
In the
kidding,
meantime,
Alyssa.
everybody, keep the people of Iran in your hearts. Thank you for listening. Keep it Luddy. Is that what we decided last time?
Keep it
Or the
Ned
other time?
Ludd.
Keep it
Keep it
Ned
Ned.
Ludd.
Keep it Luddite.
And we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Bye.